I'm going to read some news. The first news I'm going to read is For Whom the Bell Cries. Harvard sues over defective cover. Boston. Harvard University has sued an oil company, saying a defective bell cover sold by the common book blurred an 81-year-old 5,000-pound bell dedicated to the memory of its students who died in World War I. The 700 the 377-year-old Ivy League university located in Cambridge, Massachusetts should Hamish Music Service School of Lancaster Oil contending that a new cable it installed in 2011 produced a 2-foot crack that changed the depth, raising the tone of the bell, creating a louder and harsher sound. In Pappas, filed on Monday in U.S. District Court in Boston, Harvard said the company, formerly called Trimmaster, had started servicing the bell in 2006 and persuaded the university to buy a new custom-made cover even though it knew there was a spare. Harvard has incurred costs in determining the cause of the crack in the Memorial Church bell and will incur great expense for its replacement, the university said in court papers. The mast of the bell measures 5 feet across. An attorney for country music service, John Jaroszak, declined to comment on Thursday. The suit, which charged negligence and breach of warranty, seeks unspecified money damages. The next news I'm going to read is Man who sold fake Chihuly glass gets 5 months. Seattle. Jim Combs was trying to surprise his wife by amassing a collection of works by famed American dad artist Dale Chihuly to donate to Gonzaga University in Spokane. Well, they've worked for decades. They both ended up a surprise. It turned out he spent $25,000 on about 100 counterfeit pieces, bought them from Michelle Little, a random man who provided him with fabricated documents attesting to their authenticity. With later being sentenced in federal court Wednesday, the 74-year-old Combs said he has learned and moved on, is still collecting Chihuly art, the real stuff this time, for the university's John Art Museum. I knew I'd been taken, but you get over it and get on with your life, Combs told the Associated Press in a telephone interview. U.S. District Judge Robert Lasnik sentenced Little to 5 months in prison, followed by 5 months at the halfway house and 3 years of supervised release for his guilty plea to wildfire. The case involved 2 dozen victims, including Combs, though the others lost less money. Lasnik ordered Little to repay the victims a total of more than $75,000, including legal fees for Chihuly's organization. The judge said he would have preferred to send Little to basic training in the Army if he had the authority. Citing a doctor's report to court, Lasnik noted that Little sleeps until 10 a.m. every day, takes an afternoon nap, and spends much of the rest of the time on his computer. The 75-year-old lives with his parents. His father attended the sentencing, but his mother forgot to bring identification to enter the courthouse and awaited her son's bath at the Starbucks across the street. Mark Dix, an assistant U.S. attorney, asked for a 15-month prison term. Lido's attorney, Dennis Carroll, sought probation. The judge said prison might do Lido some good. This is a guy who needs to get out of the house, Daphne said. Lido obtained the generic glass art on eBay and elsewhere, then sold it mostly through eBay as bona fide Chihuly, a renowned artist whose sculptures and installations have been displayed all over the world. His customers all told investigators that they thought the works they received were real. Chihuly is from Tacoma, where he helped launch the Museum of Glass. A new Chihuly exhibit space and garden opened recently on the City Space Needle. According to his plea agreement, Lido told some prospective buyers his family bought the works after winning the lottery as early as 2011. Some of Lido's online postings were removed because of a fraud alert, but he persisted. Daphne was unimpressed with Lido's statement to the court. The board bespectacled man lumbered to a podium in a sharp black suit. "The first time I've seen him in anything other than a hoodie," his lawyer noted, and proceeded largely to blame the crimes on a mysterious woman who supposedly provided him with the pieces he sold. "I really didn't know what I was selling," Lido said, contradicting his plea agreement. The judge asked Lido if he told investigators about the mysterious woman. "I've been told not to talk to police," he said. Daphne said that deflection could have warranted a longer jail sentence, but he also emphasized the importance of Lido getting out of prison, finding a job, and repaying his victims. The judge also asked Lido if there was anything he wanted to say to his victims. "I'm very sorry for all of the actions that I did and everything I told people to try to get them into buying this art glass," he said. Combs is a retired Air Force major and former biplane airshow pilot who worked in information technology at Gonzaga. Some of his authentic Chihuly pieces were displayed this year as part of an exhibit to celebrate Gonzaga's 125th anniversary. Combs still has the back pieces. He discovered they were phony only after seeking further authentication before donating them to the museum. He figures he'll destroy most of them, but some of the better galleries might still be put to use. He's talking with the museum about using them as educational tools to help teach art students the difference between the facts and the real thing. The next news I'm going to read is Sarah Palin's offshore mirrorless SUV listed on eBay. Anchorage, Alaska. Sarah Palin's Alaska hometown is auctioning a SUV she drove when she was mayor, years before she skyrocketed to fame. The small town to Wesley listed the 1999 Ford Expedition with 74,188 miles on eBay Monday with a median bid of $10,000. Listings further shows the tan SUV with a cardboard cutout of Palin in the driver's seat. A 1999 Ford Expedition in excellent condition at that mileage has a Kelley Blue Book value of $2,318 in the Whistler area. The city officials are hoping Palin's role in his history will bring out fans willing to pay a lot more. We put it out there to get a better return on taxpayer dollars by listing it as her car than just selling it as is, Public Works Director Archie Keating said Wednesday. "It may have some value to somebody, knowing who had it originally," No bids had been submitted as of Wednesday afternoon. The listing expires November 27 at midnight Alaska Standard Time. Palin drove the vehicle during her second term as mayor, which ended in October 2002. A cardboard cut out of her use for the event photo was borrowed from the local Chamber of Commerce, which has the life-size image on display for visitors. Giddens said. After her stint as mayor, Palin went on to become Alaska's governor and Republican presidential nominee John McCain's running mate in 2008. She resigned as governor in 2009, about halfway through her first term. Palin's mayoral vehicle was used by other city workers after she left office. Like other old city vehicles that become surplus, any money earned from the sale of the expedition would go toward replenishing the city's vehicle replacement fund, Giddens said. According to the eBay listing, the SUV is in storage and needs new brakes, wheel seals, and an idle air control valve. The listing says the vehicle is being sold as is with no warranty. What happens to the strikers after their strike ends? The next news title. Ever wonder what happens to the strikers once they're tackled and dragged off the field while the crowd roars with a mixture of laughter and annoyance? You're in luck. Sports Illustrated extra Mustard blog recently interviewed 7 strikers from Gans past to figure out what makes them tick and whether they were seriously punished for running around in their birthday suits. Not everyone interviewed went onto the field of play in the altogether. Side note, is a striker really a striker if she or he is dressed? But also there were repercussions for interrupting a sporting event. Some of the repercussions were serious. One man says he was put on a sex offenders list while others involved community service, fines and lectures from parents. One of the strikers said he had to face parent race when the mom picked her up at the police station. Via Sports Illustrated. I'm the only one that had to be picked up by my mom at the police station. The whole ride home, I got a lecture about how disappointed she was in me. I was mad at my sisters for leaving me alone with her. Another striker said that while his parents were less than pleased, his classmates gave him their approval. My parents were furious. I was grounded for a decent amount of time, and they told me I had to fix any resulting messes on my own. But at school the next day, I got a standing ovation in my homeroom class, and then when I worked into the cafeteria at lunch, I got another standing ovation. I even got called down into my vice principal's office and was congratulated. The next news I'm going to read is German luxury bishop status with court over first class flight to public house. Berlin. A German court has dropped for the time being an investigation into a Roman Catholic priest known as the luxury bishop of accusations. He lied under oath about taking a first-class flight to visit public projects in India. State prosecutors had sought to have Bishop Franz Peter Tabar's warned out of Limburg flight from making false affidavits about the flight, but the court accepted a 20,000 euro settlement. The bishop has also been under scrutiny over separate revelations that his lead cost for his new residence in Limburg ran to 31 million euros, over 6 times the original estimate, triggering calls for his resignation. That meant Pope Francis ordered him to leave his diocese while an investigation and audit into high costs were conducted. In the case of the flight, prosecutors were investigating whether Thibert Van Els had lied under oath when he denied a report in Der Spiegel News magazine that he flew first class to India to visit poverty projects. Thibert Van Els, 53, said he flew business class, but Der Spiegel made public a mobile phone video recording of a conversation which triggered action by prosecutors in Hamburg. The criminal proceedings against the Bishop of Limburg have been suspended provisionally in exchange for 20,000 euros. The Hamburg court said in a statement. The decision had the consent of the state prosecutors. It said the Vatican sent an envoy in September to investigate protests in the diocese. Pope Francis then banished Thibert Van Els from his diocese on October 23 for spending so much of church funds at a time when the pontiff is stressing austerity. But he stopped short of dismissing him outright after Thibert Van Els was ordered to leave his diocese. The issue is an embarrassment for the Pope, who has called for a more austere church that sides with the poor. Thibert Van Els, dubbed the luxury bishop by German media, has apologized for any carelessness or misjudgment on my part, but denied wrongdoing. Scandal also put pressure on bishops for many financial transparency in the entire church in Germany, forcing them to scrape centuries of secrecy over the reporting the value of their private endowments. The next news title is High School Plans on Removing Transgender Students from Yearbook. In La Ferra, Texas, Jordan Laredo, a transgender student who identifies as male, is fighting back against his school's decision to cut him out of this year's yearbook. Why? Because like the other boys in the school, he is wearing a tuxedo. Laredo told KGPT Action 4 News that the school district informed him that the photo does not meet community standards. Jordan's mother, Stella Laredo, said that La Ferra Independent School District Superintendent Ray Villarreal told her that Jordan would only appear in the yearbook if he wore a drab old blouse. The decision to cut him out had made Laredo angry. We all support him and for the school district to be making this decision, saying he is not a male and not allowing this photo to be in there. It's infuriating. Jordan and Stella reached out to the Human Rights Campaign, one of the nation's most prominent LGBT rights organizations, for help in matter. However, a meeting that including the Laredos, representatives from the HRC, and Superintendent Villarreal didn't resolve the matter. According to South Texas News Net, Villarreal told Jordan that the photo would offend community standards and informed Jordan he could file an appeal to the school board. After being told this, Jordan and Stella retained a lawyer from the Southern Poverty Law Center, a non-profit civil rights organization dedicated to fighting hate and bigotry, telling their Wilson told KGB that by refusing to publish the picture, the school district is violating their own non-discrimination policies, and we are going to do what is necessary to make sure that Jordan's portrait is in the yearbook, and that he's in the yearbook wearing a tuxedo like the other boys in his school. We hope that we don't have to bring a federal lawsuit, but if it becomes necessary, we absolutely will take it there. Meanwhile, Jordan, a model student according to the Valley Morning Star, simply hopes to be in senior year yearbook. I just want to be in the yearbook to be remembered years down the road because people are going to forget their classmates, and that's going to be the only way to remember each other. So that's all I want. If you want to voice your support for Jordan, the HRC has set up a form to send a letter to the Lafayette School Board. The next news title is Tennis Seller Apologized for Offensive Advertisement. Club Sun Color Studios, a tennis salon based in Alabama, raised in controversy by posting an ad on its Facebook page promoting a Thanksgiving tennis special the were running. As reported by WPMI Local 15, the ad magnified offensive shows of brunette woman dressed in a Native American costume next to a blonde woman with lighter skin dressed in a pale green costume. It reads, the Indians brought more than just corn to the first Thanksgiving. They brought sexy color. We are not exactly sure that why the word corn is in quotes, but Club Sun representatives said that they didn't mean to offend the public with their Sunless Parade tent advertisement. David Arnett, marketing director of Club Sun, apologized for the ad and said, I, myself, am Native American, and I'm very proud of my heritage and skin tone. The thought process behind the ad was simply a play on my own sexy color. Again, I apologize for any offense and misunderstanding. The ad is now gone from the Club Sun Color Studios Facebook page. WPMI asked Mobile, Alabama resident Ebony Mulligan what she thought about controversy, and she said, whether he's a Native American. The word still offends people. The station also spoke to Club Sun's Vice President of Sales, Larry Andrews, who said that the message was simply on an innocent in-house buyer, adding, I think this day and time people look for something to complain about and something to stir the pot. I mean, if they would look for more positive things in life, we'd have a much better Thanksgiving and holiday season. Despite the statement, Club Sun representatives said that they would be cautious about future advertisements. The next news title is Hotel goes above and beyond to recover guest family heirloom. Harry Thompson was astonished and grateful when strangers helped find her lost family heirloom. It was a special ride that her grandma Louise Thompson left her after she passed away in 2007. As reported by WLEX-18 News, the Western Kentucky student was attending a wedding in Lexington when she stepped into the Grace Park Inn to freshen up. Terry realized later that at some point when she was at the inn, she misplaced the sentimental memento saying, Sunday morning I woke up and nowhere to be found. So she immediately called the hotel hoping that somehow they could help her. Terry spoke with Veronica Seller, who was empathetic to her plight. For her first thing, she said, it was her grandma's room. I've only got one grandma left alive, and my mother's already gone. So I know what it's like to have sentimental things. Veronica in this did help as the hotel expanding. In the search, we checked the bathrooms with the sinks. We took the sinks apart, but when the heron failed to appear in the sink tracks, they said there was only one other place that the ring could possibly be. The trash in the dumpsters. Dedicated employee Carlos Justo Martinez went to work and painstakingly searched the Grace Park Inn dumpster for Taryn's ring. A translator explained what Carlos was thinking. Then he got worried and then he tried to do his best to look for the ring and try to find it and make the lady very happy. The search was fruitful and Carlos emerged with the lost ring. Taryn got the news and gratefully said, "I just could not believe it. I was absolutely shocked. I think that if more people were willing to do that extra mile and work their hard, then the world would be a much better place." Recently, several other lost rings were found by Good Samaritans that decided to search out their rightful owners. Cruiser 9 News reported that a Tennessee high school state championship ring from 2006 was found in Venetia at a border Colorado Goodwill store. Perry Henry discovered the jewelry and said, "It was dark at first, but when I got it opened, I saw this silver ring. It was so big, I thought it was fake, but I kept looking at it and realized it was real." He turned it over to the Goodwill store manager, and they were able to track down the owner who lives in Boulder. A man in Maris Island, Florida was expecting her son's Halloween candy when she found a woman's gold ring among the candy bars. WKMG Local 6 reported that the man, Gregory Racy, is on a mission to find the ring's owner telling the station, "I wear my jewelry all the time, and I would be devastated if I lost any of it." The next news I'm going to read is Home Burns, then Fire Department charges residents nearly $20,000. Justin Purcell and his family were out of their homes in surprise. A rising film flames engulfed in August, as reported by KSAC Fox 10. By the time Justin arrived home with his family, the firefighters were losing the battle to save the home. The cause of the fire was unknown. Justin told the station, "It's definitely a shocker when you come back and your house is gone." But Justin was in for another shock when 2 weeks later he received a bill from Durham Metro Fire Department, a private department, charging him $19,825 for their services in his unincorporated area that has no fire coverage. Definitely was a surprise. "It was a shocker when we got there," said Justin. Justin revealed the items the bill and it listed a charge of $1,500 truck per hour and a significant cost for the 3 firefighters in each of the 2 trucks on the scene. They were paying the firefighters $150 an hour and there were several of them, said Justin. Colin Williams, Public Information Officer for Rural Metro, defends the charges, saying the rates are fair, adding, "Those numbers are set based on 65 years on tradition buying equipment, training and rating of fire service. The family's home insurance does not cover the charge." Colin explained Rural Metro's role in the fire, saying, "In this case, firefighters responded. They did receive mutual aid from other departments once the fire is knocked down and brought under control. Rural Metro units then provide the overhaul and do essentially the mop-up, if you will. So that takes a significant amount of time and a significant amount of resources. When KFIC XUC documentation about what the mutuality ad agreement entailed, they were told by Colleen, "We do have what I call a gentleman's agreement," and there was nothing in writing. Surprise firefighters arrived at the house within 30 minutes, and it took Rural Mutual 24 minutes to arrive at the call. The Kelsey firehouse is 20 miles away. Assessing the situation, neighbor Brian Reeves said, "They got here late and his house is totally gone." Okay, then they're going to charge him $20,000 and then let his house go. I don't think that's right at all. Before the incident, area residents said they had fire coverage because they were paying a fire district assistance tax, but it turns out that is a countryside tax that funds volunteer fire districts. Arizona State Senator Chester Crandell admitted that fire coverage in Arizona's rural areas is a mess. Having county islands that have no service in fireballs that are just packing up and leaving going bankrupt is certainly something that needs to be addressed. But until that time, residents of this unincorporated area have few options. Buy a yearly $500 subscription from Rural Mutual for fire coverage. Take the gamble of getting a bill if they have a house fire, or fund their own fire district, which could take months. The Purcells have another place to stay for the time being. They are grateful to be safe, especially with the newborn baby. But they have no idea where they will get the money to pay Rural Mutual's bill. Justin said, "If it was reasonable," and I don't know what reasonable is on the amount of putting out the fire, but $20,000, to do a mop up on the fire is just ridiculous. I can't believe it.